Welcome to Mahjong Class YouTube Live Clinic. So glad you can join me tonight. To be a Mahjong maven, you've come to the right place. I can help you improve your skills by playing regular games and practice on the easy peasy ilovemahj app. Whether you're a beginner, looking for advanced strategies, or just brushing up, I'll be sharing tips and strategies to help you in your Mahjong game. So hope you'll follow along using your National Mahjong League card. We're going to use the 2022 card, and you can purchase that through my website or the National Mahjong League. I can put the link in the chat for my website if anybody wants to click on there. I also have supplies there as well, and getting along. Today for our clinic, we'll be using the website called ilovemahj. I am a member of their partner program. When you sign up using the code C as in Christine, B as in Blackford, you get an extra trial week. So if you click on the link in the chat, you can also go ahead and use that. We have a few people on. Welcome. So let's get started with this wonderful site that offers some great features. What I love most about playing online is you don't need a big chunk of time. You can pop in and do an exercise, or you can play a few games while you're waiting for dinner to be done, or in the morning while you're waiting to go to work. Hi, Charlene. Welcome. Charlene is from New Jersey. So I always like to start out by doing a few warm-up exercises. So let me show you how the program works. So here is your screen when you log into ilovemahj, and we're going to go to play, and we're going to launch game. In the launch game, you scroll down and you have the exercise room. We're going to practice what hand is that today, but in my previous videos, I did do make a hand, which was in the 1121 video, which is great to create muscle memory. Last week on 12.1, I did Charleston practice, which is good for making quicker decisions. It also has a timer in the program, so you can check that out if you're interested in doing that one. But tonight we're going to do what hand is this, so I'm going to click on that. And I think this exercise is super great for figuring out your opponent's hand, but what I like most about it is if you're new to the card, or the card just is a new year, so not quite yet, but again, I still think it's a great way to start improving how to learn the hands. Like I said, it's not only for to learn your opponent's hands, but while you're doing that, you're also improving how you can switch hands. So let me get in to do a little warm up with what hand is this. So let me click on that and start the exercise. So at the bottom of the screen, they gave you two groupings, and it's like numbers of 8s and 8s. And you have to go through the categories and pick what hand is that. So immediately we'll go to like numbers, which is any like numbers. And that could be one of two hands. It could be the bottom hand here. So you would click on that. It moves it over to the right. And then you can click on the top hand. But then you say to yourself, I think I've seen it somewhere else. So I always know that it's in the Winds and Dragons category. And I got to know this because I did practice on here multiple times. So you can click here because here is like numbers again. You can have 8 bands and 8 cracks with 2 norths, a single east, a single west, and 2 south. And then if you, by accident, click on something, so we'll say we clicked on this one, you can just click over here and remove it. Now, I also know that there is another hand with 8s. So some of you might not really know this, be too familiar with this hand, but it is the second hand in 2, 4, 6, 8. And remember, this is what's exposed, so it's kongs and kongs. There is a hand, the second hand, and I'll put it over to the right. It has a pair of 2s, a single 4, a single 6, a pair of 8s, and remember, this does not have to be 2s, it's 8s and 8s. So if I click validate, it should tell me 100%. So let's do that. And it says that I correctly picked all the correct hands. Now we move on to the next hand. This is 4 souths. So when I was first learning this card this year, when I got it back in April, I kept missing a hand. And I'm not going to tell you what it is just yet, but we're going to go through and talk about where can we use 4 souths. So obviously, most of us will know it will be in Winds and Dragons. So we click on that category, and then we click on where there's 4 souths. And there's 2 hands in Winds and Dragons with 4 souths. Of those of you who are on with me tonight, would you be able to tell me where the third hand is where you can use 4 souths? Just type it in the chat and see if you're right or if you can find it. Just give you a couple minutes to look at the card. So again, when I was learning this card this year, in April, I used this to learn. I have to learn it pretty quick so I can teach it to my students. I was using this to learn where I could switch hands if I had 4 souths. And one of the categories I kept missing is the quints. Although you need a quint of dragons and you need a quint of ones, you also need, not just ones, any number, you need a quint of a wind. And it's not a quint, it's a kong. And this is where I was getting confused at the very beginning. I kept thinking you needed a quint. And you heard me, I just said quint. But it's only a kong. So if you click on that and then hit validate, those are the 3 hands where you can use a kong of souths. So again, this is teaching you where you can switch hands to if you have a bunch of souths. It's also, the main goal is to identify your opponent's hands. Let's do 2 more. This one is a kong of 9s and 3 7s. So typically, I would assume it's 1 3 5 7 9. Does anybody have an idea what hand it might be before I click on the category? So when you go there, there's a kong of 9s here with 3 7s and 3 7s, pungs of 7s. So this would be the hand. And you can click validate, and it confirms that you were correct. Let's go one more hand. This one's super easy. They give you the full hand. So this person is playing the quint hand because there's 5 dragons and 5 of a number and 4 east, which is a kong, so it would be the first hand. This one has 4s and 6s in 2 different suits with 8s. Where would this hand be in what category if you want to type it in the chat? Okay, this is the 2, 4, 6, 8 category. And you're looking for a kong of 8s. So I would look here on the far right. There's a couple hands with kongs of 8s. Very good, Charlene. And you want to look for 4s and 6s in 2 different suits. So you go through, here's 4s and 6s in 2 different suits, but they're not pungs. We need pungs. This is pung and kong. This is a pair, but matching 6s. This is 4s with matching 6s. And here you have 4s, a pung with 4s in an opposite suit. 6s, excuse me, in an opposite suit. So they're waiting. This is, again, your opponent's hand. They're waiting for pairs. So this is the specific hand that they're playing. And one more. Again, this would be a good way to learn the card. This would be clearly Winds and Dragons. And then you would have to look to see which hand, and it is the second hand. Again, I like doing this when they have just one exposure up to help me figure out what hand they're playing and where can I change to if I needed to, a switching hand. If I have these exposures, where would I be able to play? This one has 3 flowers and the numbers 3 and 6. So that would be your 3, 6, 9 hand. And specifically, it's matching 3s with matching 6s, a kong of 3s and a pung of 6s, and you have to have the 3 flowers. So it's line number 2. Oh, this one's a good one. This is what I was looking for to help you figure out what hand you're playing. Dragons, they are all over the card. So I'm going to hold out a second here, and I'm going to let you type in the chat, where can you find 4 dragons, and what hand could your opponent be playing? Or what hand would you be able to play if you had 4 green dragons? If you want to type it in the chat, that would be great. And if you're just in the chat, you don't have to type out like consecutive run. You can put CR. You don't have to type out Winds and Dragons. You can put WD, or Quince. You could just put a Q, or the pound sign for like numbers, however you want to do it, just to make it quicker. So immediately when I see 4 green dragons, you want to go to Winds and Dragons. So we'll start there. So we have Winds and Dragons, line number 2. And then on the comments, somebody wrote like numbers, so we'll go to like numbers. And here you could have a kong of green dragons. And we also have somebody with consecutive run. Let's see where we could use 4 green dragons. We could use 4 green dragons here. And Winds of Dragons we did 2, 4, 6, 8. Let's see. Oh, look at that. There's 2 hands in 2, 4, 6, 8. That we can use with dragons, and then 3, 6, 9. Look at all those hands with 4 dragons. Now don't forget this dragons in the middle here, they kind of are tucked in. So usually dragons are kind of on the outside except for any like numbers, but don't forget about them. I'm going to tell you, you're actually missing one. So give it a little peek again and see if you can find it on the card. There is one more hand with a kong of green dragons. And again, when I in April played on here, it taught me that I kept missing the one also. Can anybody find it? It is the 2022 hand, the very first one. So there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 hands on the card that uses green dragons. So if your opponent has this up, you have no idea where they're playing with one exposure, but definitely when they put up a second one, you could probably figure it out. But it also shows you that if you get those green dragons, you could play all over the card. So it's not really putting you into a specific category, but it's teaching you all the different places you can play. So we're going to validate this, and we got them all. And I'm going to get out for right now, and I'm going to go in and play a game. So in order to get out of this practice, I'm going to hit the X and exit. And the next thing we're going to do, we're going to go in and play a game. And we're going to slide up here to game launch. If you were not in this already, you would just, if I was at the home screen, I'll just go over this again. You'll slide over to play and hit game launch. So again, the exercise room is down a little bit. Tonight we did What Hand Is That? If you missed it at the beginning, you can go back to that. Now we're going to play with bots. You can play with your friends. You can set up a time and play with the friends. It's really great, this site, user-friendly. There's videos to watch to help you navigate. And I actually have set up a few games. I think our next game we're going to play with me, I call it, or let's play. I've set up for Tuesday of next week at 1 o'clock. If you want to join my Mahjong group, my Mahjong class group, we are going to play. So a group of us is going to play online at our home, in our individual homes. And then, so today I'm going to play with bots. So I'm clicking on with bots. You can play just for fun by yourself, and they have a practice mode, which will help you have hand suggestions, and it counts your discards. This is good for people who are just very, very new to the game. I don't want you to have a crutch on it, because it will make you, I don't want to use the word lazy, but that's exactly what it's going to do. But it's good when you're first starting out, when you're just trying to learn all the facets of the game. But tonight we're going to do an official game, which is going to keep track of my wins and losses, which if you click here, you can see my stats, which is great. You can add on to your games that you play live. It allows you to add on to your stats. You can choose the level, back to the game, you can choose the level that you want to play against, the robots you want to play against, whether you're a beginner, intermediate, or advanced. I'll start with beginner tonight, and then you can hit launch game. This also expresses if you want to allow other people who come on to join you. For today's session, I'm going to say no. Then you have the ability to change your screens here. First, you're going to make sure you have the 2022 card. You're going to change your timer. I have it set for 8 seconds, but you can go as high as 10 seconds for in-between decision making, or as low as 4. Tonight I'm going to shut it off because I'm going to do some talking and I don't want it to make a decision for me. And again, we're playing with our bot level 1. You can change your theme here. Let's change it. I think this is last week's theme. Let's change it. How do we like this? Cheeky. Let's see what that looks like. Oh, it's almost similar with a little green. Let's see if we can undo pink tonight. Pretty in Pink. That was a great movie. And then you can change your tiles, what you look like. So I suggest the classic for those of you who are just starting out. You can also do large print for those who need larger tiles. They also have 3 different tiles from the Mahjong line. I will say that if you're just a beginner, it's not going to be for you. I think the tiles are going to be hard to identify, but they're really fun to play with when you've mastered all the names of the tiles. So we're going to stick with the classic, and we're going to hit OK, and then we're going to start our game. So the tiles are dealt to you, and they're all mixed up. You can sort by rank or you can sort by suit. So by rank would be in number order in various suits, or you can sort by suit. I specifically always play by suit and then in ascending order. The next thing I usually do is pick out my pairs. So we have pairs of ones, pairs of threes, pairs of sixes, and pairs of eights. I try to find the relationship with those tiles and all my pairs and see how they might work. Tonight we have it split. We have 1, 3, which would be in the 1, 3, 7, 9 category, and we have 6, 8, which would be in the 2, 4, 6, 8 category. So you have to decide which way you want to go. We cannot play all the numbers. Now another thing we could also do, I just saw, we can play 3, 6, which would be the 3, 6, 9 category. So let me know what you think you would choose. And I do want you to know there is no wrong answer here. Again, if we set all the people in the room or in your house at this that know how to play Mahjong, everyone would pick a different category to play in. I'm not looking for a specific hand, I'm just looking for a category. So go through and tell me what you think your best category would be. You could even play consecutive run. So I'd love to hear where you would play if you want to type it in the chat. And again, we can use abbreviations if you want, like for consecutive run, just put CR. For Wins and Dragons, WD. For like numbers, you could just use the pound sign. Singles and pairs, SP. So type it in the chat and let me know. I do see some people are answering. I see 2022. Now, I don't think it's a wrong answer because we do have 2 twos. The only thing we are missing is that key component of the 0. So I would probably not play that unless I had the 0, which is the white dragon. Now, consecutive run would be maybe a good choice, all in one suit. Let's sort it by rank, and let's see. We do have a lot of low numbers. We could play, there's a hand that's, I'm not picking a hand, but I just wanted to mention it. There's line number 6 would be 1, pairs of 2s in the middle, and 3s on the end. We could play something like that. So if we're going to play a consecutive run, let's resort it by suit, and that means we're breaking up these pairs at the end. Right now, we know we don't need a north. That we know for sure. And if we're going to break up our pairs, we're going to give one of each. However, this isn't great to pass, but if we're trying to keep all the low numbers, let's do that. So it's an 8, a 6, and a north. And you can either drag them into the box with your mouse, or you could hit the space bar, and that will pop them in. If you didn't want one of these before you hit the word pass, you're going to drag it back down. And then you can you can double click on something. But I never want to pass a pair, so I'm going to drag that bit down, and I'm going to double click and pop it up. This is our first right, so let's hit pass. We're choosing the consecutive run category, and we're keeping all low numbers. We picked up 2 wins and a dragon, so let's keep the dragon. And let's get rid of, this is our first across. We can get rid of a north, a east, and a 6. Would everybody do that? It's okay to pass 2 wins. It's not great. We know we just passed 1. We could pass the north, the 6, and the 8, but I don't want to do a 6 and an 8 again. So let's do 6 northeast. If you have another suggestion, let me know. So we're going to go ahead and pass the east, the north, and the 6. We pulled a 1 and a 3. So we have the 8 and the 9 for sure we don't need. Now we could go, we could switch our hand at any time. I did not pick a specific hand. I was just picking the category consecutive run, and we were collecting the numbers 1, 2, 3, 4 in any suit. Oh, I'm sorry, I pushed this 3 up. 1, 2, 3, 4 in any suit. So now at this point, we need to pass 3 to our left. Now, you also remember you don't have to pass 3 on the first left. You could just pass 2. But I always say we don't have a great hand, so let's make a choice now so that we get 3 more tiles to help us pick. So we could switch our hand and play like numbers because now that's kind of a strength. We have 1s and 1s. There's also a hand in consecutive run that would be 1, 2, 1, 2 with opposite dragon. We could still play 1, 2, 3, 4 with 2s in the middle. I'm thinking we also, if we really wanted to get crazy, we could do 1, 3, 1, 3, 5, but we don't have the matching 1s and 3s. I'm thinking we really don't need this 3 dot. Let me know your thoughts on what you would keep. Type it in the chat. Thanks. I'm thinking I'm going to get rid of this 3 dot. I really don't think it's going to be used right now. So let's get rid of that. Okay, here we go. Oh, we picked up another 2. So at this point, I don't have a specific hand yet that I'm really committed to. I'm going to continue with the Charleston. And now we have to pass 3 tiles. We definitely don't need the north, and we don't need the 8. We could play 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 2, 2 with 3s. We're missing all the 2s, so that's a little rough because it's all pairs. We can play 1, 2, 1, 2 with an opposite dragon. We can play consecutive run with I always call it the baby hand. It's the 3rd hand down with 3 different suits. You can play 1, 2, but we're missing the 3 in dots. So I think I'm going to keep all of these. And oh, I forgot. We can even play flowers with 1, 2, 3 with the dragon. I think we're going to get rid of the 4 at this point and keep all the low numbers, 1, 2, 3, and see where we end up. There is only one hand that will use the numbers 1 through 4, and that's line number 5. It has all one suit, the numbers 1 through 4. But we have a bunch of mixed suits here. Let's see what happens. I want to hedge on my pairs. This is our second left. We got that other 2. Ooh, maybe we're playing that 1, 2, 1, 2 with the 3s. And I'm not 100% sure we're playing that. I'm thinking we could. We have not picked another flower, but if we play that hand, we don't need a flower. And I'm going to get rid of the west, the 5, and I'm thinking the green dragon or the 1. Let me know what you would choose. Again, I'm thinking this hand. I always like to go for interesting hands. There is no gaps, but we do need 2 pairs. Let me know if you have a different hand that you would like to play. And also, what tile would you pass? We have to pass 3. This is the second across. Type it in the chat. I'm going to try the green, I think. Let me know if that's your thoughts. I'll give you one more second to think about it. Okay, here we go. I'm doing the green. We ended up with 2 high numbers, 8 and 9. Now again, they're the same suit, but it's their last right. I'm not going to worry about it too much. And a west. Now the winds, we did pass them at the very beginning, so it's possible somebody is playing winds, but let's see what happens. We don't have to pass 3. You know, you could hold 1 back, but I'm still trying to build my hand here. I'm going to pass these 3. We picked up a 3 dot, which we don't really have use for in our hand unless we play 1, 2, 3. So if we want to keep all of our options open, I'm going to pass just 2 tiles, which would be east and 9 dot. This way I can keep all of my options open in the consecutive run category. So let's do 9. I think it said 9 dot. I meant 9 bam, east, and we're going to pass. We picked up a 5 and 6, which are discards for us. So now we're into the game. When you play the game, you could drag the tile onto the board to discard, or you can double click on it, or you can hit the space bar. And this is if you're on a laptop or a PC. So I'm going to double click. Every tile that comes up, you will have to make a decision. It's a great feature of the game. Some of the other platforms just automatically say no, 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 and it goes by so fast, and you're like, wait a minute, what if I wanted to change something? It's really the computer thinking. On this game, on ilovemahj, it's us thinking, and you have to decide if you want to get rid of the tile or not. So we don't know where we are right now. We have no jokers, so I'm going to ignore. We do have 2 1 bams, but again, we're not sure where we're playing yet, so I have to ignore it. And remember with Mahjong, to be a good Mahjong player is not to expose tiles. So you're not going to quickly say, oh, it's 3 1 bams, I'm going to call for it, because we have no idea what hand we're playing yet. I'm being patient and letting my hand develop. This is our first flower out. I'm going to ignore it. High tile, garbage. There's that green dragon we passed earlier. Now player right, Marjorie has 6 dots. We don't know what hand she's playing. There's so many hands with 6 dots. Quentin has 4 dots, same thing for him. We have no idea. I wish there was some jokers there. We got that 2 bam. Oh, that hand's looking good though. 1, 2, 2. It would actually look like this. 1 pair of 4 ones, pair of 2s, pair of 2s, pairs of 2s, and 4 3s. We still don't need this 5 crack. Need some jokers is what we need. No south press. Oh, we got another flower, which is nice. So at this point, we have to make some sort of decision because we have to discard. I had talked about possibly playing the 3rd line down, which would be a pair of flowers, the number 1, the pair of 2s, and a 3 dot. We also talked about playing, is there any other one with flowers? We have flowers, multiple flowers. We have pungs of flowers with a number 1 and 2 in 2 different suits. I think these ones aren't really working for us, so let's get rid of them. Let's start off with that. Now, another thing, you have to pay attention to your opponents. Marjorie now has 5, 6, so that's consecutive. So she's probably playing the consecutive run, line number 4, right? It's 4, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. Sorry, not for 4, it's 5. Line number 5, 5, 6, 7, 8 in 2 different suits. Really nice if we can get a 5 dot. So let's get rid of the 1 crack. Yeah, she's playing 5, 6. She's looking for 7 cracks. And she has a ton of jokers. We did pick up another flower. We can hold on to it, and we still have another card to discard before we have to make a decision. Now we have a joker. We have to decide what hand we're going to play. There is, again, the second hand down. It's 3 flowers, the number 1. And remember, it doesn't have to be the number 1. We could play it 2, 3. And we might want to do that because if you remember, a 1 bam, already went out. And so maybe we want to play it 2, 3. We do need 3 more flowers, but we could use this joker and maybe call for flowers. Or we can try to play 1, 2, 3 and get rid of the flowers, but I don't want to do that. I probably want to play something with flowers. You can play 2 flowers, get rid of 1 flower, and play 1, 2, 3 dot. So I think we should try, you let me know what you think actually. There's lots of hands we can play. Let me know if we want to switch to something. Let me know your thoughts. Type them in the chat. You can just put in a number that you want to go for in consecutive run. You can just put the line number in. I hate to pick it. I wish somebody would pick it for me. It's possible if I get rid of this 3 dot, this person across from us might need it, but they're probably saying 2, 4, 6, 8. I'm thinking, yeah, to go for line number 3, which I always say is the baby hand, is a good choice. We could try that, which would be line number 3 would be 2 flowers. It would be the numbers 1, 2, and 3. Or we can, try and play that big hand and get rid of all the flowers. But at any rate, if we go for line number 3, that means we can get rid of the flower. So let's see, we want to keep our options open. So let's get rid of 1 flower. Oh, I really want to play that 1 hand. We have all our 2s. Oh, let's do it. Let's get rid of the 3 dot. Maybe nobody needs flowers. Oh, we got more flowers. Let's get rid of the flower. Holy, wow, we got another flower. I'm gonna get rid of this flower. I really like that 1, 2, 1, 2, 2, 2, 2 with 3s. Let's get rid of this flower. And I'm getting rid of the flowers earlier because I don't want to get stuck with them. Ooh, they're playing 4s and 4s. Let's get rid of the flower. Where can you use 3 4s and 4 4s? And they're looking for 7 cracks. They're looking for more 4s. Looking for like numbers. Oh, I just clicked on, I was trying to read in the chat. I just missed our tile. I would have called that 1 bam. That is my error. And I was distracted because I was reading in the chat, but we should have called that 1 bam. So I think I've just messed up our hand, but let's see what happens. Maybe we could do some joker swaps over here. I really messed up our hand. Now this green dragon, they don't need it. They need white and red, so I can get rid of that. I'm going to call for that. And you just hit call, and then you hit Kong. And we have too many 2s, so I'm going to get rid of 1. I'm praying we're going to get a joker swap over here. They also tell you there's 23 tiles left. I'm so mad at myself that I was distracted and missed that 1 bam, but it happens in a regular game, right? Oh, look, we got another joker, so now we have Mahj. So we just won, and we're going to hit Mahjong. And you can always cancel if you think you made a mistake. So we did get line number 6. And it's 1 bam with 3 bams and sets of 2s all in the middle. What's great about this game, it does allow you to see your opponent's hands. So Marjorie on the right-hand side, she was playing that 5, 6, 7, 8. She was ready to call for those 7s, either with a joker or a 7 crack. Quentin was playing like numbers. We kind of knew that. He was looking for his other 4 or a joker. He only had 1 joker and he had used it. And then we have Dottie on the left. She was playing consecutive run, line number 5. And she had 5, 6, 7, and she was missing her 8th. She had a long way to go. This is a great way, again, to learn different hands, because when they're built with the tiles, it looks different than when they're printed on the card. So make sure at the end of each game that you do study what everybody else was playing. And I try to not look at what's printed here. I try to figure out myself and then look at and make sure I got the right line. And you can also go back and look at your discards. Like I said earlier, I was distracted and I did miss that 1 bam, which I don't even, oh, here it is, the 1 bam. So you could go back and see it. And early on, that 1 bam was discarded at the beginning of the game, but we weren't ready to call for it. We didn't have any jokers, and I didn't know what hand we were playing. You can close that, and you can also show remaining tiles. I know some ladies like to see what's left in the hand. Look at the next tile was a joker, so they also, Marjorie was next in line. She would have won, but she didn't get her joker. And you can look at the tiles that are left. You can close that. So now we completed 1 game. You could get out and go have your dinner, or you can go start your day if you did this in the morning or your lunch break. It's great during lunch hours to play a game or 2. But I'm going to go ahead and start my next game. Now, I will remind you tonight that I am playing at beginner level. It does get a little bit harder when you play at intermediate level. The bots get to be smarter. They won't make such silly choices. So again, we're in a new game. Let's sort by suit. Wow, this time we have 2 flowers. Now, flowers are all over the card. I usually don't consider them when trying to pick a hand. And I do look at our wins. We only have 2. So let's look at our other numbers. We don't have any pairs. We do have a lot of high numbers. We have 7, 8, 9, 8, 9. So maybe we can go ahead and play with the high numbers, 7, 8, 9, 8, 9, and get rid of the last 3 tiles of 1, 1, 4. Let me know what you would do, what category you might play in. So type it in the chat, and I'd love to hear it. And while we're all making our decisions, if you could, down below in the screen, if you could give me a thumbs up for having this tonight and all my other ones, I'd appreciate it. It's a great way to help support my YouTube channel. Okay, so let's try for a consecutive run, 7, 8, 9. We can do a consecutive run that way. So let's get rid of the 1, 1, and 4. And we'll hit pass. This is our first right. We picked up another 9. So now we have a 2 and a 6. And let's maybe get rid of one of these wins. I always do wins before dragons, and the dragons, I always do the red and green before the white. And that is because the white has a dual purpose of the 0 or a white dragon. And I always hold them because dragons are in every category, just like flowers. Wins are only in 3 categories, 4. They're in 2022, quints, wins and dragons, and singles and pairs. So I'm going to start with the wins. I don't really want to play with them. We have, of course, we just got rid of a north, and we have a north. So we have north, 2, and 5. And I think we're going to stick with the upper numbers. So we could get rid of that if you wanted. You could switch over, since you know one north was past, maybe past the east. So now we have south, 4, and 8. Now there is one hand in Winds and Dragons. It would be north and south with a run, which would be 7, 8, 9. The run has to be all in one suit. Our strength right now is 9s. We could play like numbers with 9s and the wins, and it seems like every time we've passed tonight, and these are some thinking thoughts, we've passed a wind and received a wind. So maybe people aren't playing wins, and this is a good time to catch yourself and start maybe changing your hand and collecting a number. So I'm going to continue with the Charleston, because the only time I ever stop the Charleston is when I have a beautiful hand, and we're still in the process of trying to figure out where we're playing. So I'm going to hit continue. And I know we don't need the 4 dot. We have a pair of 9s. That is our strength. So I'm going to start whittling away at the numbers and seeing where I can go. So I'm going to get rid of the 7. I think I want to start collecting the wins and maybe playing with 9s or 8s. I'm going to get rid of this 8 because it was already passed to me, so maybe it would come back anyway later on if I needed it. We picked up that north, and oh look, we picked up another dragon. I'm going to get rid of the 2, and now I'm going to stick with the 9s. It's not great to pass the same number, but it is in 2 different suits, and we're on the across. You have to pass 3. Excellent. We picked up another 9. Now I have north and south. We need that east and west in the middle to play line number 4. And I'm going to get rid of the 1, the 2, and I'm not going to pass anything else. This is your first right. Sorry, let me back up. Your last right. And you can do a blind pass. It says so right here. It says 0 to 3 tiles may be passed. I'm just putting 2. I'm going to do the blind pass. I'm going to borrow 1 from Dottie that she's giving me. So I'm only going to receive 2 tiles. So I'm going to hit pass. I ended up with a 1 and a 5, which we don't need. So I'm going to do 2 tiles. I'm going to keep everything else. The reason why I'm keeping the green and the white dragon is there's a hand, the concealed hand at the bottom. It has green and white dragon. Actually, you could use green and red or white and red. It just has 2 dragons. I'm going to get rid of the 5 and the 1 bam. We picked up another 9 and we picked up a white. So we're going to have to make a decision here. Right now, we don't want the 7 bam, so let's ignore that. No 8. We know we don't need the 8. We're waiting for that push tile to lead us to what one we're actually going to play. Oh, there goes our wins, all our wins we need. Oh, we have a joker. So we can play, we can even move over to like numbers. We're missing our key components of east and west here. So I'm thinking I'm going to give up on like numbers with wins. And I'm going to maybe focus on, we can play like numbers with the white. And we can play like numbers. We're missing a whole group of 9s, but let's see how it plays out. Let's get rid of the north. We should have collected them earlier. Good decision though, 3 easts are out. The likelihood of us picking up that 1 east makes me nervous. So you see, I started out in the winds and dragons category, and then I completely changed. Actually, let's back up. We started out with consecutive run. We were looking at 7, 8, 9, 7, 8, 9. Then we moved to winds and dragons. Now we're switching over to like numbers. So it's just letting the tiles dictate where to play. Now, there are 9s. I'm going to call those 9s because there's no jokers needed. I mean, I could play, we could let it go because we do have the Mah Jongg dragon and there is the second hand down. Maybe I'll let it go because I do have the 1 green dragon. Let's let it go. Because you need to have the dragon. So sometimes you have to do a forfeit in order to get the dragon to match. And we have the dragon, so I don't want to give up that dragon. We have some jokers, so it's possible that we could use those for our 9 cracks. Excellent, we got the green dragon. So now these are going to become 9 cracks. And we're not halfway yet through the game, so we have a good chance to maybe pick up 1. I'm going to move these flowers over because I think they're going to be the next thing to go. I'm going to wait till we're halfway through. Remember, we start out with 99 tiles. So around 50, we can get rid of them, and maybe somebody will call for it, and we could swap it out for a joker, our other one. We're looking for a 9 dot also. We don't need this white dragon. We already have 2. but we can always hold on to it if we wanted to switch, but I don't think we're going to switch to anything. There's the last hand that uses flowers, but that would mean giving up on these. I'm going to actually get rid of it. None of our 9s have gone out yet. I mean, we did give up on the 9 bam, but no other 9s have gone out yet. So the likelihood of us getting it is good. We're just about halfway now. So I'm going to get rid of my first flower and see if somebody calls for it. They did, but it's not for with a joker. There's our first 9 crack. We can't call for it. We need a Kong. We're going to have to ignore it. I'm going to get rid of this other flower. The green. The red. We could hold on to the red in case we want to switch around, but it's really not necessary. But I always prioritize my discards. The person, Marjorie, on our right, we should be figuring out what she's playing. She has 3 flowers. There are several hands with 3 flowers, but because she has a Kong of 1s with it, she could be playing like numbers, or she can be playing consecutive run. There is also a hand in 1, 3, 5, 7, 9 with the 4th hand down. So there's 3 hands she can be playing. So it's a little difficult to figure out her hand just yet. You could look through the tiles and see if any 1s have been discarded, if any of the matching 9s, 9 bams. I have them all, so she's not playing 1, 3, 5. The 2s, she could play 2 dots or 2 bams. 2 bams are out. There's 2 of them, so maybe she's playing with the dots. Let's see what happens. I'm going to get rid of, oh, again, I prioritize my discards. I'm going to get rid of the 6. She's not playing with the 2 dots either. So maybe she's playing with 1s. Oh, there goes our other 9. We needed another joker. So Dottie won Mahjong. She won with line number 5, consecutive run. She has 3, 4, 5, 6, all in 1 suit. Pung, pung, Kong, Kong. Marjorie on our right, she was playing the 1s with flowers. She needed some more flowers. And Quentin was playing 2 flowers, and I don't know any like numbers. I guess he was trying to do 9s, but I had all the 9s, and he wasn't sharing his 9s with me. So we were competing for the 9s. And again, we needed another joker to help us get the 9 cracks, excuse me. So again, I think we'll end for this evening, but let me just share with you, you can hit exit game. Oh, and before I do that, I just wanted to show you some features on here. You have options. You could change, if this color was bothering you tonight, you can hit color theme and change it. You can change your tiles in the middle of your game. You can hit the game volume and increase or decrease the volume. It might be too loud for you. You can also turn on your video camera. This game has a great feature. If you were playing with 4 of your friends or 4 people you wanted to meet, you can change for your camera to come on, and you can also speak. So it's like a Zoom call without the nuisance of getting onto Zoom. You just play on here. And instead of having my logo here on the bottom left, this would actually be my screen picture that you see up on the top right. So I just wanted to share that with you. So you can exit the game here. and I loved what we did tonight, and I think it's a great program. You should try I Love Mahj. You want to go on to the site, and you can type in CB into the promo field to sign up for, they usually give you 3 weeks. 2 weeks. I'm giving you 3 weeks for a trial. You don't have to put your credit card in or anything. I'm going to put the code in the chat, and you can click on the link and join and try to practice. I think it's a great way to practice. I wanted to thank you for your support. So if you would subscribe on the lower right-hand corner, you can just click the subscribe button and click the bell, and you'll get notifications when I have the next YouTube Live, which will be on December 13th at 6:30. So on Tuesday evenings, just a half hour earlier. And you can, I would love it if you could give me a thumbs up, which is right below. And then also, if you love what you saw tonight, I have tons of videos up on already my YouTube channel, which is called Mah Jongg Class. If you just type in that on YouTube, it should come up. You can share my videos with some of your friends. Maybe you have a friend who's having a problem building her wall. I have a quick video on how to build your wall in person. And then I would love it if you left a comment down below how you found my video, and if you enjoyed it, or a topic that maybe you wanted me to either do a new video on, something to discuss on the clinic, or anything you wanted to share with me. You can also connect with me with Mah Jongg Class on Instagram. On YouTube, again, my channel is Mah Jongg Class, and on Facebook, I have a Facebook group, Mah Jongg Class, where I post interesting topics and questions, and people are of interest, of the same interest, are all gathered there, and we talk about Mahjong. If you would like to take lessons from me, or have a brush-up class, or maybe take in April my new card workshop, which is just a one-day class that brings you up to speed on the new card, you can email me at mahjongclass@yahoo.com. And that's mahjonggclass@yahoo.com. And it was a pleasure having you here today. And I just wanted to thank you for joining me this evening and spending some time with me. And again, if you have anything that you want to share with me, that you want to learn how to improve your skills, just email me, and I'll drop that in the chat. And I'd love to hear from you. So again, I'll see you next week, December 13th at 6:30. And you can go back and look at all the other ones for some of the other topics we talked about. And also, if you want to play with me, just a regular game, I'll be on Tuesday, December 13th at 1 o'clock in the afternoon to just play on the computer and have some fun while being in the comfort of my home. And I hope you'll join me. So I'll see you next week, or hopefully maybe we'll get in and play a live game together. Have a great night and take care. Thank you.